Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, the Red Devils Africa podcast. This is it. I think we can all agree that there's a bit of a sense of apathy in the Manchester United fan base. More so for people who predicted that we'd lose this game. It's just one of them things. Manchester United zaps the life out of you yet again. Life without Marcus Rashford is proving to be impossible for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. And I'm not just saying that because he's my favorite player. I'm saying that because the evidence is rather strong to support this argument. He scored 38% of our goals in the league alone. And I think the 2 or 3 games he's not been here, we've lost on the trot without him. So at full time, Burnley are 2-0 up, in case you didn't know. First thing I'd like to talk about is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's a very blurry line between delusion and optimism. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer crossed that line on the weekend. And I think he's going to cross that line again today. His comments after the Liverpool game, for me, were just not good enough. And perhaps tonight's comments, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and says, well, we fought hard. It's about the future. The lads try to play well. And all that sort of thing. Do you guys think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is starting to lose this dressing room and he's starting to lose his own head a little bit?
Yeah, I think, I'm just so sad, it's like, I can't even explain how sad I am, but no, I don't, Ollie, fuck off, man, just fuck off.
Oh my gosh.
That sets the tone for the podcast.
Yeah, I feel like, well, other words, honestly, it is extremely saddening. Yeah, it seems like he's starting to lose it. Like I said, I think I started there. I don't know if it's online or offline. I feel like it sounds like a broken record. It sounds like his press conferences and post-match interviews are rehearsed. He just doesn't know what to say anymore. He's just relying on players coming in, or he knows he's not going to get players, and he's just grasping for straws. So it does seem like he is starting to lose it. He's out of ideas.
The big problem I have personally with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast, but off air, I've mentioned it once or twice this year, or maybe a bit last year as well, is that he takes accountability for what's happening at the club. Now, whether or not you believe that Ed Woodward is the evil mastermind behind what's going on, the truth is we don't work at Manchester United. We don't know anyone who works at Manchester United personally. So it's a weird situation where whether it's Ed Woodward or not, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said it's him. He comes out and says he has a direct influence on who comes into the club and who leaves the club. And he's always coming up with these blanket statements like, if the right player's there for the right price, we'll get him. The money was available. It's just the players wasn't. So, all that, he tries to put a positive spin on everything. And the fact that he's taking accountability for this, for me, says that it's his fault. We have to look at him and blame him then. It's his fault.
Yeah, the blame has to go somewhere.
Yeah, some of it is. Anyways.
Yeah, if he's going to say it's him, then it's him. Like, what can we do? I feel like he really loves this job. It's his dream job, and he'll do everything to keep it. I don't know if he feels like this is the way to fix the club, to work together, to bind together, no matter what happens, no matter what the odds. But that is being delusional, because if they aren't helping, if they aren't getting him signings, he's not going to magically fix the club. And at the end of the day, they're going to fire him. They're not going to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, and for me, this is a sackable offence. It is. And if you think I'm reacting to that emotionally, I'm not reacting to that emotionally. I've given it some thought. Peter Drury actually said it during the game, if you were watching on SuperSport, I think it was. Peter Drury said it during the game. We have not lost a home game to Burnley since 1962. A home game since 1962. I don't even know how many years that is, because maths is not my strong suit, but that is probably like 5 or 4 decades, and actually more. And so for me, this is, it borders along the lines of a sackable offense. Not just this result, like he should have been sacked a long time ago, but because it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and because he's a legend of the club, he's still in a job. And for me, this is just, it's unforgivable. It's a home game against Burnley. You get the 3 points, you're 2 points behind Chelsea because Frank Lampard keeps leaving the door open. He's like, here, you guys want another shot at top four? Here, come.
I think that's the big problem. Like, what now? I mean, Chelsea keep dropping points, but we don't capitalize on it. So where is the optimism? Where is the future? Mourinho got sacked for losing by two goals to Liverpool. He lost by 2 goals to Liverpool and then lost to Burnley. So yeah, it is a sackable offense, but I still don't think the sport will fire him.
Probably won't. But, we're not here to talk about the board. We're here to talk about how we feel. It's boring to talk about the board. It's the same thing, isn't it? It's the same thing. I don't want to talk about the board. I want to talk about how we feel. How much of today's result is a reflection of the deep sense of mediocrity that's creeping into this team? I think it's a big reflection, personally.
Well, I said this last week when we lost Liverpool, where people were like, no, we didn't do too badly, they're the best. And I thought, that's when we were done as a club, and that's kind of accepted. And, I've just been done, and I'm getting bored of saying it, but like, fuck the Glazers, fuck Ed Woodward, fuck Ollie, fuck the coaches, fuck the players, fuck this club. I wish I could delete it out of my memory completely. I wish I could delete it off the face of the planet completely. I wish I never, I just wish I wasn't, we as fans don't deserve this. We don't deserve this.
Yeah, I think the reaction to the results is everything because no one's angry. We're all just sad. The stadium was empty. The commentator said that there was a feeling of resignation in the stadium. Like, we all just accepted this. When you scored the goals, I wasn't even moved. I was like, it's one of these games again. That's the mood around the club. And, like, we're all just tired. I'm tired of seeing Ollie out. I'm tired of seeing Glazers out. I just don't know this club anymore.
Hey, look, when the top Reds are leaving the stadium, when Muns go to support this club through thick and thin, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, when they're leaving the stadium early, you know what's up. You know what's up. I think it's really when Old Trafford starts becoming empty, and you can make all the excuses you want, but this wasn't the cup game against Wolves. This is a Premier League match that we needed to win.
Yeah.
When the stadium is empty, when there's empty seats by halftime, and it gets gradually emptier towards the end of the game, with these kind of fans, you know how loyal Manchester United fans are. You just you know.
Because we see this at Arsenal all the time. United are probably the most loyal fans in the Premier League. When they do that, you know that it's done.
Yeah, look, I've always said that with regards to Ollie and the mediocrity, like, it's a competitive sport. Like, these people get paid to play football. Yeah, some of them actually, a majority of them are probably really passionate about football. I'd be shocked if anyone plays football for money and they're not passionate about it to some degree. But primarily, it's a job for most of these guys, especially the guys off the field. And so to come out and have someone like Ollie constantly say, the boys just got to go out there and express themselves, it's about having fun. And I'm just like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Even the people who hired you disagree with that because to them it's a business. Manchester United had 27 shots, only 7 on target, but they had 24 shots actually, 24 shots, sorry, at the end of the game. Are you finally ready to start considering the idea that there's something wrong with our forwards? Like, something might genuinely be wrong with our forwards, because we've spoken a lot on this channel about how the system is broken, how not enough chances are being created, how, Martial, James have been left for dead. But Marcus Rashford was doing it with this so-called broken system. He's gone now. And 24 shots for me and not getting a single goal when the other team only had like 5 shots and scored 2. You have to look at your forwards as well. Therefore, I don't know what you guys think of that.
Definitely. I feel like it has been recognized, maybe not in the same conversation. I mean, we've said that James can't finish and that Martial, especially today, he's poor in front of goal, eh? Like, we know his main, what he gives us mostly is his hold-up play, but then you need to chip in a bit. especially in a
Yeah.
team that doesn't score goals. You need to chip in. He needs to work on his finishing. Otherwise, we'd rather have Cavani there, honestly, because he needs to score goals for us. He's our striker. So it is very annoying. And again, the whole midfield thing, it actually played better today, but like we just don't make clear-cut chances. It's so sad.
Yeah, I think Matic played well as well because
Yeah.
he lobbing the diagonal balls to Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka got
Dude.
the crosses in. So today there was a little bit of a plan. There was a little, like a tiny, like 0.5% improvement in terms of
Yeah.
United going forward.
Yeah,
I think we saw something a little bit different, just a little
Yeah,
bit. But
yeah, no.
it led to nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think first half wise, the movement was good. Like moving the ball, the energy, and it was
Yeah.
encouraging. Like I really thought would score, and I really thought I'd be coming onto this
We should have
podcast and saying, yeah, I thought I'd be coming
No,
onto
we
this
should have
podcast and saying these kind of games are encouraging, but United do what United do. And Burnley, they struggled in the first half. Like they were playing long balls. Maguire was winning everything. They couldn't get out, but they just stuck to their plan, got the goal, and like we just collapsed. Like we came out in the second half and we were so sluggish. That is
Yeah,
so disappointing.
It's really games like this where I take a look at these players and I start to have my doubts because no doubt Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics are horrible. We've spoken about that millions of times, but sometimes you've got to take a look at the players. And the first goal that Burnley scored has nothing to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That is Maguire. Every day of the week, that's Maguire's fault. Doesn't matter who's standing on the sidelines. There's no coaching involved there. Harry Maguire is an 80 million pound defender. He shouldn't lose track of his man.
Yeah.
Martial is a quality forward. He shouldn't be taking 2 extra touches before taking a shot in the
That was
box.
annoying. Yeah, that is very.
There's so many things that I see on this field that have nothing to do with coaching. You can say what you want about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I think a lot of the players at Manchester United now are getting exposed because world-class players are players who have character and their skill is at such a high level that even in a bad system and even in difficult times, they shine. They shine.
Sure.
But now there's nothing at this United team, man. Like without Pogba, there's nothing. Maybe De Gea because he still makes world-class saves. He still pulls in. But there's nothing else.
Yeah,
I mean, Jones probably didn't. I didn't see Jones do much wrong, and like to have Harry Maguire be the one who conceded a goal is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Martial, he's becoming exposed. Like we love him and he offers us a lot, but he needs to score goals. Like there's him not being able to finish. He just won't cut it anymore. Like for a striker to take so many touches in front of goal is unheard of. Honestly.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I think a lot of the players are getting exposed at this club, and I know there's going to be someone in the comments or generally speaking, United fans saying that if James was playing at a better team, or if Martial was playing at a better team, or if so and so is playing at a better team, then he would score more. But that's the point. Like a player is not world class if they need other players around them desperately just to play well consistently. That's not what a world-class player is. A world-class player is a player who does their job so well that they can actually help other players on the field, and they lift the team up. 9 times out of 10, that's what a world-class player does, especially in attacking positions.
It's like
wow.
As much as the system is a problem, the players must take accountability as well. What are they doing?
You can't. Character's not coaching. Character. I mean, the coach has a part to play because of what he says in the press conferences. But some of these players have had feeble characters for a very long time, and I think it's getting exposed now because there's no one at the end of the game, at the end of the press conference, to call these men out.
Yeah.
They've got someone in charge who doesn't.
But to be honest, what's really annoying me is our defending set pieces, and scoring set pieces. What is going on there? Like, it's not rocket science to coach that. It really isn't. Guys, we can see a lot of on set pieces. So let's spend 1 day a week working on set pieces. How hard is that?
I'm not going to lie to you. The thing that annoys me the most about this Manchester United side is the lack of character and leadership. Like set pieces I can forgive teams not being good at set pieces as long as they find other ways to score goals. And I suppose it is extremely frustrating for this Manchester United side because they just don't get goals from anywhere else when Rashford's not there. So they need the set plays to go well. But set plays are just a small part of the game. Yes, they can have a big influence if you do it right, but the chances of scoring from a free kick or trying to get that perfect header that challenges the keeper, especially with the quality of players we have, it's not very high, is it? We bought one player who's good in the air, and we expected him to come and score from every set piece. That's unrealistic. Yeah. Everyone knows Harry Maguire.
I can excuse the scoring. The defending was annoying me the most. How can you consider the most in the league? The most. Manchester United. Yeah. It's just unheard of. It's just unheard of, honestly. For the amount of money we spend in that defense, it's ridiculous.
And this guy still thinks zonal marking is the way to go.
I don't think zonal marking is the problem, eh? I've said this many. Well, I haven't said it specifically about zonal marking, but I've said, remember a few weeks ago we were talking about what we would improve in this Manchester United team, and me and Malot had a heated argument because I misinterpreted what he said, and I thought he meant that we should only buy one CDM and our problems are solved. That's not what he meant. But in that same conversation, I said I would change this defense. I don't like these defenders. If I was manager of Manchester United, as a person who tends to like defensive-minded football, I wouldn't back this defense because if you look at most of our defenders, they're very clumsy and not that good in the air. Bar Harry Maguire, who else is good in the air? Jones is clumsy. Lindelof is clumsy. Bailey strong, but in the air, I've never seen anything from Bailey that makes me go, this guy's really good in the air. He should get up for corners. Yeah. There's no one.
I feel like our centre backs are too similar, which ends up with them making the same mistakes. So
exactly.
That help the club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because say what you want about Phil Jones, but Bailey's also rash. Bailey's also rash. Bailey, the reason why Bailey gets injured so much is because he's so rash. Yeah, he can't keep his feet on the ground. He has to go in for a slide tackle.
Yeah, when it's on form it works, but off form, he concedes penalties left, right, and center.
It's the same with Rojo. Rojo's also rash and clumsy sometimes. And when he's not rash and clumsy, he's like Lindelof when Lindelof loses his head. He's too scared. He's too out of the game. Yeah. You don't know what's going on. He's just backtracking the whole way. He's too scared to do anything. Yeah. So that's what pisses me off about this United team. There's no characters. I don't see any characters out there. Even when the team is down, Brandon Williams shouldn't be the one trying to rally the troops on. That shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening. But anyways, player ratings. This should be an interesting one because I personally feel very... I don't know, my brain is in a very murky place after this result. I'm still trying to process it. So, good luck with the player ratings. David De Gea, out of 10.
5.
Yeah.
5.
No, I agree. I agree with the 5. I feel like as much as Jay Rodriguez's shot was good, it was near post. He probably should have gotten more on that.
Yeah.
So 5. Yeah.
Sorry, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, out of 10.
6, man of the match.
Imagine your man of the match being a 6.
I've never man of the match, but I think he had, first half-wise, I think he had one of his best games. Attacking, going forward, he's been improving. The crosses were good.
Yeah. Should have had 2 assists today.
Yeah, I think second half the crosses he lost it, but first half they were pretty good. Defensively, always. So I think he deserves a 6.
Not even a 7? Damn, you guys are in a bad mood today. Phil Jones, out of 10.
4.
Why 4, if I may ask? What did he do that made you warrant a 4?
That foul for the free kick I thought was very clumsy, and this guy just doesn't invoke any confidence, didn't really do anything. So yeah, 4. Conceded 2 goals.
I think he did a lot actually. I think that's incorrect. I think he did a lot. He even got a really nice slide tackle on the sideline when Burnley were on transition. And I was like, wow. I thought it was Maguire, and then the camera zoomed in and it was Jones. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
damn.
Yeah. As much as it was a foul, I feel like it was one of those games where we see what Fergie and them saw. This guy has that potential.
I think he had a good game.
Yeah, but he struggles to tap into it. I think he had a really decent game. So I think 4 is a bit harsh. I'll give him, I think he deserves a 6.
Can agree with that. Harry Maguire?
3.
That's fair because his moment did kind of. I think that was a pivotal moment in the game.
Okay, true.
I don't know
This
about a 3.
guy's the
but,
captain,
he
by
should
the
be
way.
lower than
This
James.
guy's United captain.
No, Shanique makes a good point. He's the captain, so captain can't be making those type of mistakes. But bar that, which was a big thing, I think he had a decent game. He was winning everything in the air. Everything was clean. So it's kind of saddening that that telling moment he changes his rating so much. But I think I'll give him a
I
5.
can agree with the 5.
A 5.
This is why I agree with the 5, by the way. Let me explain. Let me put up a case for Harry Maguire, right? This guy hasn't been at the club for more than a year. This guy doesn't rest. This guy, even when he gets injured, he plays on. This guy does not miss a game for Manchester United. So him making one mistake for me is perfectly acceptable. He's not perfect. He's human. Harry Maguire doesn't make that many mistakes for Manchester United, and I think today was just unfortunate that the one mistake he made led to probably a big L for the team. But like, Harry Maguire firstly should not be captain of this team this early on. Secondly, he's played every damn game. Like, let's forget about the captaincy, but he's played. When was the last time Harry Maguire had a rest?
Yeah.
Just his injury. That's the only time.
Yeah. So you can't expect a player who plays every single game to not make a big mistake.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I think a 3 is harsh.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I'll fault them with awareness-wise because Burnley kept doing the second ball set piece over and over again. So like it was a warning that they're going to score like that, but we still fell for it. Yeah,
that's true. But like, I think you're gonna get worse when you play every single game. And I think the same thing's happening to Martial, but we'll get to Martial. Brandon Williams, out of 10.
6 for me defensively again. Is very good going forward. It was amazing. There was one time we went down the wing and he took on like everyone. He chipped it over 2 guys, and he put it in through. And I think Fred just messed it up. But yeah, for me, this kid is something special. So 6.
Yeah. 7. My man of the match. Amazing. Like this kid is wonders. He's 19.
And he showed character.
He's 19 people. Like you better get to the gym. You better get to the gym. Like attacking wise, he's amazing. Like Wan-Bissaka does not touch Brandon Williams attaching wise. Character, he's got that fire. Defensively clean. And I really see mistakes on Brandon Williams. So I think he deserves a 7.
Well, yeah. When I watch Manchester United, if there's 2 players who look like they give a shit, it's Brandon Williams and Fred. No one else. No one else. I think that's being harsh to Wan-Bissaka, but like, I don't know. I think Wan-Bissaka is just accidentally really good at what he does. I don't think he's playing at his best yet. And it's not his fault. Yeah, but anyways, Matic, I think he had a good game actually. Out of 10.
I'll give Matic a 5. I didn't really think he had an amazing game. I thought he was probably one of our best midfield players today, but I don't see a 6. Yeah.
You do know he was responsible for most of Wan-Bissaka's balls, right? Like, Wan-Bissaka wouldn't have gotten those if he didn't play diagonal balls across.
Yeah, I still don't think that was good enough for a Man United midfielder.
I don't know, I don't know. I'm going to go one above and give him a 7. I thought he was absolutely amazing. I think one of his best games I've seen at United. The long balls were amazing. He was courageous on the ball. I kept saying he's inconsistent. It was one of those games where he was very consistent from get-go.
He even played a ball over the top to Martial.
Dude, from get-go. I was watching him 2-0 down. He's still doing it. I'm like, what? Who is this player? So I think he had a really good game. I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, sure, yeah, I think you're just in a bad mood. I'm sorry. I have to call you out on this one. Matic had a good game. I think that's just an agenda. I don't know what warrants him getting a 5. What did he do wrong? Can you point out one mistake that Matic made?
I think he wasn't fast enough. I think he slows down the play but too much. Long balls, I expect it. I expect long balls, especially against Burnley, to do that. So, yeah, I didn't think it was amazing.
Can you point out one mistake, though?
Yeah, with some of his forward passes, he just gives it away floppy to Burnley, and then Burnley is on the attack. He was also
I get
trying
that.
to do one of those back
But that's
passes,
going
and
to
he's running
happen
all
when
the
you.
way
That's
back,
going. That's
and then
going
he
to
gives it
happen when
away
you.
again.
Relax. It's going to
I get.
happen when you play forward passes, though.
Mm.
You can't
Sheena,
expect every forward pass to be on.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but not in this game, to be honest. I feel like in terms of moving the ball, he was actually one of the quickest. I think in this game, he was better than everyone in that midfield.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes loses the ball all the time at Sporting, but that's what makes him a successful player because he plays the risky balls forward. But anyways, there's nothing to do with Bruno Fernandes. Fred, out of 10.
5.
Yeah, that I can agree with. I didn't see much. Yeah,
At least he hit the target.
Yeah, this guy.
At least, yeah.
Shots.
Yeah, Fred just struggles. Fred would fit well in Everton. No offense to Fred. I think you could start there, but he shouldn't be starting for Manchester United. I think he shows character. He's a hard-working player, but he's just not good enough. And I'm sorry to Fred, but he's just not good enough. So 5.
I think there's a player in Fred, though. I think the reason why Fred struggles so much is partially because he plays too deep, and secondarily because nobody's helping him develop his game going forward. That's what I think is the problem with Fred. I think in another season, in another time where Fred was playing alone as a holding midfielder, he could actually be fine. If Fred's job was to play the ball sideways and let other people move it up the field, I think he'd be fine. I think he's, unfortunately, just a victim.
Yeah, no. I think that's fair. I think he needs. I'm sorry for cutting in.
Yeah. No problem.
I think that's fair. I think he could use someone to help him develop, but I feel like at the moment he's too much of a jack of all trades. Like I just don't know.
And a master of none.
Yeah, I don't know what he's really good at. If he sat deep, I think hitting those balls, he'd be good at it. But defensively, not that great. Going forward, he's average. So I just don't know where Fred lies.
That's true.
Yeah. The only thing I would say about Fred that makes him, like the one thing if I had to ask me what's the best thing about Fred, I would just say his work rate.
Yeah, he gives a shit. And I'll take that any day over some of these other players.
Yeah.
I think Pereira was awful today. Pereira out of 10?
3.
I heard the commentator say it. I don't know, Maybe I wasn't watching the game properly and you guys can correct me, but I felt like there was a little skill here and there, and he was moving the ball not too badly. It wasn't amazing, but I wouldn't say awful. So
I think the difference between Nemanja Matic and Pereira today was that Nemanja Matic actually created chances for other players, whereas Pereira tried and failed almost every time he played the ball forward.
His final ball today was poor.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying I don't agree with what Shoni was saying with Matic, because if Pereira had done what Matic had done, Pereira would have had a good game. But because it's Matic, it's not good enough as a Manchester United midfielder, quotation marks.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything.
He's very similar to Fred. You just also don't know where he lies. You just don't know if he's good enough to be a number 10, if he should be a winger. Sometimes on the wing, he shines, sometimes he doesn't. So you just don't know where Pereira should be. Yeah, but...
And he's not experienced enough. But he keeps moving around. Like, that's my problem. Like, sorry to cut you off, but I think a big problem at Manchester United at the moment is, and I think Greenwood is going to be a big, big victim of this for the next few weeks. Players are just flip-flopping out of position, and these guys are young. They have not played football at this level up until they wore a red jersey. So having them move around in positions, they're losing valuable experience. Or they don't have the valuable experience, rather, to adapt and play well in those positions and understand what the role is truly about. Doesn't look like it.
I know that's spot on, I think. I think the moving around doesn't help. And the injuries, I feel like Fred with McTominay was working well, but now that McTominay is gone, you can see that Fred is struggling. So it's...
Yeah.
It says everything about the club. I think I'll give him...
I'll give him a... But yeah, what's your score?
A 4.
A 4 is a bit generous. I'm joking. 4-3, I agree with both, to be honest. I didn't really see anything from Pereira. Usually there's a skill or two that you see, and perhaps, actually, my stream was cutting out, so I probably didn't see the skills. But, it was just a bad game for me. Mata on the right, out of 10.
Five. I tried. That's all I can say really. And he looked like the most annoyed player in today's game. Like he actually looked like, what the hell is what is this shit? Like what is this?
Yeah. Guys, might as well just go to Barcelona. This team isn't working for him because this guy always puts in a decent performance. I think he played well. I think the movement was great. It wasn't
I
as
think
good
he
as
played a lot of
the
balls into the. He played one ball into the box that could have been a goal on another day, but it was cut off so smoothly
Yeah.
by the Burnley defender. It was a similar one to the one he played against to Rashford in the Norwich game, I think it was.
Yeah. Like he can move players around, make spaces. He can be a vocal point. So with him, it's not like with Lingard, where it seems like there's no vocal point. You see the players look for him because they know he'll make a telling pass. People will make runs because they know he'll hit a long ball. So he's very crucial. If Bruno Fernandes comes, I'd like to still see him play next to Bruno Fernandes on the right wing. I feel like he's not as good in the 10, which is ironic because most people think it's his best position. I think he's better on the right wing because in the second half he wasn't as good as the first half. But I'll give him a 6.5.
I agree with that because he's lost his legs. Like if Mata still had his legs and his pace, I'd still think he'd be good in the 10. I think being on the wing, ironically, gives him room to just slack off and be a bit slow because he doesn't have to drop back as deep. He can stay up.
And Wan-Bissaka overlaps a lot.
Yeah, that too. But anyways, Tony, Martial out of 10.
Oh my gosh.
2.
It's probably his worst game.
Yeah.
That was a 2. I can't hide anything, you know. And I seen a lot of people already taking it to Martial, to all the guys who don't like Martial. I seen the tweets, I seen all the comments about him. I couldn't back him up today. That was ridiculous. Oh my god. Like I've seen school children play with those type of chances. It's like the basics, you learn. One touch, bang. One touch, bang. Just put your leg in it, touch it. Let it do it. Just direct it.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I was gonna say 2, but just to shame him even more, 1. It was horrible. It was just bad.
No, I think a 1 is fair because what did Martial do correctly in this game?
Yeah.
Did he even have a pass completed?
I don't even know. And in the second half, it was just getting worse. He was shooting from like 30 yards out.
Yeah. Like guys, actually, let's just put it on the table. Is Martial good enough to be Manchester United's first team striker, and why?
At the moment, no. But in another time, yes. Because he proved under Van Gaal in a team that had a working system that he can score goals consistently. He just needs the right people around him. But Martial is not a clinical, bang on goal scorer, one chance, one touch, one finish type of guy. He's the type of guy who can score goals consistently, but I still don't think that warrants him as a world-class player. I think he just needs multiple chances, and the more shots you give him, the more he scores.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking again in that first half, if there was Greenwood who had those chances, there's probably goals.
Sure. Dude, the one chance.
I don't see Greenwood missing that. Yeah, and the one chance Greenwood had the whole second half, it was nearly a freaking banger from out of nowhere again.
Yeah. I heard calls from Don Hutchison saying he should play up front and Martial on the right.
I said it. I said in my predicted 11 as well. I put Martial on the wing where Rashford used to play for this couple of until Rashford or whoever. There's not much to do in the front, but I would play Greenwood up there.
I think Martial can work, but United needs to buy goal scorers next to him, because then it's not going to work. You need goals from your striker. If he's not scoring, you need goals from someone else.
I disagree. I think you just need to create chances. I think you just need to create chances, and I think you need depth in your team. I think this whole nonsense of Martial moving back on the wing again is another player playing yet again out of a position he doesn't want to play in.
Yeah, I know.
And Martial's not magically going to turn into Rashford on the wing. He's going to have off games because he's struggling in the position he wants to play in. So let's move him in the position he hasn't played in for over a season and see if it works. It's not going to work.
You're 100% right, man.
Yeah,
100% right. I think we're saying it from the point of view of not knowing this club won't do the right thing.
I know, but the thing is, at this point in time, I don't completely disagree with Martial playing down the middle. And I can understand why he's not playing Greenwood as well, because I trust and believe if Greenwood plays down the middle, he's going to have bad games. And throwing a youngster into a team like this, in my opinion, is just not a good idea. I understand there aren't that many other options, and that's probably why Ollie's going to do it at some point, especially if Martial goes down injured. But it's not going to help. He's going to get burnt out. His head's going to drop. He does not have the right support around him to stay confident. The Greenwood is not going to take every chance and go score 20 goals. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
What 19-year-old has scored 20 goals in the Premier League?
That's the big problem. But like as Don was saying, you just don't see the goals. Like, where are the goals in Manchester United? It's very worrying.
Yeah, well, that's what Rashford was for.
The next few months just look dark.
We'll get to James's rating, and then I want to come back to this topic specifically because I had a few points to make. But James, out of 10.
3. I think he's suffering from overplayed, and I think he's suffering from the expectation because we've chucked him in to be a first team player when we just brought him in for what seemed to be squad depth, and now I think he's just suffering. I don't even know. I feel so sorry for James.
I think second half I'll agree with you 100%, but I think first half you could see that he's a left wing and not a right wing. He looked so much more comfortable. You could see that he could get a better shot on target today.
He actually had a shot on target today.
From the right, he just never shoots and gets it on target. So you can see he's a left wing. So it's very unfortunate he has to play on the right to accommodate for Marcus Rashford. So I'll give him a 5.
Yeah, you see, I think, and this is just my opinion. There's no way. I'm not going to waste my time trying to prove this to anyone who wants to have a long, drawn-out debate. But I think the reason why Brandon Williams is playing well compared to everyone else in terms of the young players in the team is because he hasn't just been thrown in. He's sharing a role or position with someone. Dan James, Pereira, it's only those two really. I don't know anyone else who's just been thrown in. And to a certain extent, Harry Maguire actually. And to a certain extent, Fred. Although those two are more experienced, whereas Dan James and Pereira are not experienced. But those 4 players weren't really involved in Manchester United. Well, 2 of them weren't at Manchester United until this season. Those 4 players have all been thrown in to first team roles, and they haven't even been given time to settle in. They've almost just been thrown in, and it's like, you're in. You got to do it. You got to find a way. And on top of that, it doesn't help when you have a manager whose philosophy is express yourself. And the one player who flourishes when he's given room to express himself is injured. The rest of the players don't know how to express themselves, or don't have it in them, rather. Because I think it was very uncharacteristic of Martial to shoot from range today. I don't know how James played when he was in the Championship, but I think it's uncharacteristic as well of a player in a new league that he's never played in at this level to just come in and start taking shots, like inexplicable shots. We've spoken about Pereira's shots a lot as well, and whether or not he should be taking shots from far. And I've spoken about Fred's shots, and I've said Fred should be banned from shooting. And I'm starting to feel like these guys actually get told in the training ground, go for it. Just go for it.
They probably do.
Yeah, because it's not just Rashford. At least Rashford scores. At least Rashford scores. So, and he's got a knuckleball and he understands what he's doing. But these other guys, even Martial, Martial's never been a long-range shooter. We know he can score inside the box, but he's never been a long-range shooter. But all of a sudden, we're seeing Martial have a pop.
All his training tactics sound like a dad, who understands football and is just training a football side in town or his son's football side.
For primary school. Yeah.
Honestly, just go for it, man.
Where the result doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's all about having fun. Just shoot in range. Or those dads who come in while you're playing FIFA and they're not really into the tactical side of the game. And when you're by the box, they're like, why don't you just shoot?
Oh yeah, and they don't understand why you're passing it around and you're trying to walk it in. Yeah. I agree. No, and going back to the thing with Greenwood, right? I think it's only going to get worse. And, you guys can chip in your opinions on this. I think Manchester United's season and Manchester United going forward, especially if they don't sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the end of the season, it's only going to get worse because I think people who are fans of Greenwood don't understand that Greenwood's not immune to what's happening to Dan James. Greenwood's never played in the Premier League up until this season, like Dan James. If he starts playing every game from now on because Martial's not good enough, quote unquote, or Martial should play down on the left because he's better there, fine, play Greenwood in the middle. But what do you think's going to happen? You think a player who's never played in the Premier League is just going to go on and start scoring goals consistently for Manchester United? I think we're ruining another young player's career. I really think we are.
And it's not 100%. But the thing is, if we don't sign players, what do we do?
Yeah. Well,
That's the
like
big
I don't want to put Greenwood in this situation, but
Yeah. I'd rather Greenwood keep coming off the bench because we want him to grow. We can see what's
off the bench, yes. But I'm saying Greenwood shouldn't start in the middle unless he absolutely has to every game.
I know.
I'm fine with him coming off the bench.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm fine with that, but I do feel like if we don't sign players, this man has to play more because we just don't have any.
So in the games like today, Greenwood should have started because squad rotation is important and it's something that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't seem to understand. But I don't know if Greenwood is the answer because, as I've said many times before, he's going to be inconsistent, and throwing him in to try fix Martial's problem with scoring, I don't think will help that much. I really don't. Maybe for the first 5 games, he'll get a goal, then have a drought, then have a goal, then have a drought, then have a goal, and then we'll see a long drought after that. I genuinely think that's going to happen. You may disagree because you're Greenwood FC, and you think he scores every chance he gets, even though he hasn't scored in the last 3 or 4 games.
I don't think so, to be honest. I just know that we need goals, and we just need to do something about it. And this guy is the best shooter we have, so we need to get him more.
Yeah, I know. If you're Greenwood FC and you believe this guy's the key, then I'm not here to change your opinion. I'm not going to argue about it. You know, if you think this guy's going to score all the chances that Martial's been missing and we'd be winning games because he's playing, that's fine. I'm not gonna argue that. I think it's a waste of time. I think we all want this team to succeed, and sitting here and talking about whether or not Greenwood's good enough is really a waste of time. You know. He's a young player, and that's just my opinion. Let us know in the comments down below what your opinion is as well. But yeah, I think things are just going to get worse for Manchester United going forward. I don't see anything really changing. You know, you put Bruno Fernandes into today's game instead of Pereira, and you know, there's many times where Pereira was just outside the box, and his only option to pass was really Martial, if I'm being completely honest. Because Wan-Bissaka was too far out on the right, so that's a sideways pass. Brandon Williams is overlapping on the right as well, so that's also a sideways pass. James is in this awkward position of, should I make the run? Should I stand here and fill the gap? I don't know, because Brandon Williams has just overlapped me, and I'm a left winger, so I don't know what to do, and I don't have the experience in this situation because I'm new. So he's kind of standing in this awkward position on the corner of the box. Fred is standing next to him because Fred has been told to sit deep. Matic is standing next to Fred because he's also playing deep. So Bruno Fernandes is just here turning on the box. It happened to Mata, actually, very late in the game. Mata was on the edge of the box and he did the stutter because everyone had a defender on them, all was standing outside the box. And it's like, who do you pass to? The movement of the ball just isn't good enough. And I think that's where Matic was brilliant because he actually just lobbed it over. He was like, listen, I don't know what to do, so here you go, Wan-Bissaka. And Wan-Bissaka was able to create something. But beyond that, there was nothing.
Yeah, those lobs, I didn't know he had them. Had it in him, to be honest. Honestly. I feel like it was very congested, especially in the second half. Look, I feel like at this point, and they won't do it, the most productive thing is to sack Ole. Because there will be a bounce. At least they'll keep us in touch with the top 4. I think that's the most productive.
You know what? I don't believe in this. The manager, look, bringing in new managers definitely does bring about a bounce. I'm not denying that in some cases, but I don't think it's guaranteed. Just look at Mourinho and Spurs, how awful they've been since getting Mourinho. Look at Arsenal, how awful they were. when they had their caretaker manager. Look at Watford, how awful they were after they got a new manager. West Ham lost today. Look how awful they've been since they've appointed a new manager. So,
yeah, I feel like with Mourinho it's a special case, but let's not go there. I just think, yes, you bring in, and you're not guaranteed a bounce, but you're probably not gonna get Ole turn in a corner as well.
yeah.
And I don't mean we go get some guy to get a bounce. I think we try to get the right person.
That's the thing. I think if we sack Oli tomorrow, Poch is not going to come in until the summer. I think Poch will refuse. I think Poch will be like, no ways, I'm going to start on a new season.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Under my rules as well. I think Poch
There's
is
no squad though. That's the thing. You know, like at the beginning of the season, you could have made the case easily that a manager could do so much more with this team. I don't think any manager who comes in now is doing anything with this team. Genuinely don't. You've got Martial who's off form, so you can bring Greenwood on to replace him, but Greenwood's going to need to rest eventually. So you're going to have to bring Martial back on again for squad rotation. Duh. Unless you play Martial on the left, which is even worse because then you've got to replace Martial and Greenwood because they're both going to get tired, and they're both going to be out of form at some point. And then you've still got Dan James you've got to deal with, but he has to play every game because it's more important to look after your better players and just throw in the youngster who runs a lot and is really passionate, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got Pereira in the cam because Bruno Fernandes' deal is taking forever. And when you take off Pereira, your two options are Lingard and Mata, unless Mata's already on the field. Then you've got no choice but to bring on Lingard because he's the only other option you have. Pogba's injured, McTominay's injured, so unless you've got some potion that's going to make Fred a better attacking player, you're stuck with Static and Fred, who looks like he's just doesn't know what to do going forward.
True.
And then you've got Captain America in your defense, who's getting tired and is making silly mistakes now as a result of it. You've got Lindelof, who you can rotate with Jones, but Bailey's not fit and he's never really going to play consistently. I don't know what a manager does if they come in tomorrow morning after Oli gets sacked.
True. But I'll be hoping that the manager will come with the mentality that I'm not going to make top four. My job is not on the line. It's my first season. So I will rotate and I'll play these players and embed an attacking playing style. Unlike all those I'm right for my job. So now I'm going to play all these players that game in, game out. And I'd rather take that risk, honestly. I'd rather take that risk.
Obviously.
And
I'd rather Rashford wasn't out of the stress faction. But yeah.
Poch, I love Poch, but fuck Poch, honestly. There's a lot of good managers out there. We don't need to obsess over Pochettino.
Yeah, I was actually watching a funny video today. What was the punchline? It was something to do with Poch. It was like a cartoon parody, and Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola were standing in some corridor. I won't explain the full context, and they were basically going at each other, and I forgot what the punchline was, but basically Pochettino came out and he had won no trophies, and that was supposed to be the punchline. And the reason why I bring this up is because this guy has won no trophies. So, you Poch FC guys can take your arguments and shove them right up, because I want someone who's going to come here and actually win stuff, not just make top four. Not just be good enough and put a positive spin in the media. And I'm sorry, Pochettino has not proven that he can win stuff. Making a Champions League final is not winning the Champions League. It's called second place. It's called we're not playing Champions League football next season unless we make top four because we weren't good enough to win the trophy.
I agree with that to a certain extent, but I feel like those managers are few and far nowadays. You don't get ready-made that much anymore. I feel like there's a lot of managers like Poch who are tactical geniuses. I mean, the Ajax manager is very good. There's a lot of managers like that, so we don't need to obsess over this guy.
Yeah.
And if we do go for experience, I do not want an Allegri. No thanks. You can shove his trophy.
Yeah, Allegri can shove it.
Honestly.
My two top managers are Simeone and Poch.
I'm sorry. We've had this conversation about Simeone. I don't agree, to be honest. I feel like he started with the Premier League. I think he'll just be Jose 2.0, honestly.
Oh yeah, Simeone. Listen, if you want to win trophies, I get that there's a lot of United fans that want to see flashy, fancy attacking football, but if you want to win trophies, you have to look towards your European managers who've done it before. So unless you're hiring Pep or Klopp, you ain't getting flashy attacking football. I'll tell you what you will get. You'll get efficiency. We had a manager that everyone thought his games were boring here, but he won the FA Cup. We had another manager who everyone thinks is boring, but we won the EuroLeague and the Carabao Cup. And if we keep hiring managers predicated around playing such nice football, we ain't going to win trophies.
That's the thing. We haven't tried that. And that's what we United fans are calling for. At least let's try it.
Oh, no. We haven't tried it, but other teams have. And look, yes, Poch can come here and win a trophy. I'm not discounting that. But based on the evidence and based on people like Poch and what they've done at other places, I just don't see it. I like to think pragmatically and be objective. And I believe that the ultimate way of proving that you can win trophies is going on and doing it. But yeah, you're going to say?
My Poch argument is that who is going to win trophies with the squad? I just feel like I want a manager who seems to know how to work with our situation and get the most out of. Okay, fair, but I don't think any manager will win a big amounts of trophies. I don't think a lot of managers win the Premier League with this team, with the owners we have.
So part of the problem is the team, of course. I'm not discounting that. But that can't be your argument for bringing in Poch. You can't say because this team isn't good enough and most managers wouldn't do well, therefore,
No, the argument is that he can work with doesn't have many players, but he can make something out of it. I think that's the biggest argument of Pochettino.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But
he made Tottenham out of nothing. I think that's the whole thing. He made Southampton out of nothing.
I know, I get that.
But a lot of top players today in the Premier League in Southampton were made by Pochettino. So I think that's the argument.
Yeah, you can argue that all you want, but again, I don't want a manager who's just going to develop players. Personally, I want trophies. That's what I want.
Yeah, I just don't see it anytime soon. So I think, even if you bring in Poch, let him start with the proper rebuild and build something. And then, if a world-class manager does come available, obviously, try to get that. But yeah, like I said, I don't think my mind will change. I think Poch is the right guy to build something. I would back Poch. If I was going to back a United manager again, I would back Poch. It'll never happen, but Simeone as well.
And here's another coin to the argument, and I know maybe Marcus won't agree with me, but as top as Zidane is, I wouldn't take him because I just feel like the style of management won't suit this club. He can't develop players, and that's what we need right now. Someone who can make players better because we're not bringing players in.
Yeah. I can hear you guys' argument, but all I'm hearing is, we're looking towards the future, so we're not going to buy Bruno Fernandes in the summer because we're making Pereira a better player. That's all I'm hearing. Look, excuse my sarcasm, excuse my toxicity, but I'm so sick of hearing about the future and about development. Development's good, but I just want to win some trophies. I like seeing my team win some trophies. I'm here to support my team and see them win. Yeah. I'm really sick of this development nonsense and this future vision and this plan for tomorrow. The best teams in the world are where they are because of a combination of experience and youth, or just experience. That's the truth. It's a hard pill to swallow for some of you. But if you want proof, look at Tottenham. Yeah, Poch got them to the final, but did he win the final? There's your answer.
Yeah, I know. Marcus, you're right. And I think in the new world, we all want that. But hashtag Glazer, and that's the big problem here.
But that's just my opinion, and I ain't lowering it or losing hope just because the Glazers are here. I ain't becoming apathetic.
I ain't lowering it also, but I think if you had to bring in Jurgen, Pep, or Zidane in a situation like this, they will fail. And I think Poch won't fail as badly if he had to.
Yeah, I'm not. That's the thing. Please do not misunderstand or misquote what I'm saying. I'm not saying that a manager will come in here and do a much better job than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under these terms. That's not what I'm saying. In fact, I think Poch would also fail under these terms. Genuinely. I think there's a bigger problem at the club, and once that bigger problem gets solved, then we can look towards solving the manager problem. That's what I've always thought. And once we get to the manager part, I don't agree with Poch. That's my opinion. It ain't changing. And you can have your own opinion down in the comments down below. That's the whole point. It's fan opinion. But I'm not saying that hiring Mourinho tomorrow morning or someone like Mourinho would win us trophies, even though he did it with similar squad. I'm not saying that would solve our issues. No, there are bigger issues, but I don't think the answer to solving those issues is Poch. I think Poch would make that worse because then that's exactly what the Glazers want. They want someone who's going to work with these players so that they don't have to go and spend money. And then what? We're just going to celebrate coming second in the Champions League every season? Heck no. Hell
That's
no.
true. That's true. And you can all admire that. You can all admire that. It's very difficult because we know these people aren't going anyway.
Yeah. Well, by the looks of it anyways. But I think that's a wrap. So please do leave a like on the video. Please do subscribe if you are new and if you enjoyed it. And we will catch you in the next one. Peace.